Hello, welcome to day 17 of the virtual reading fair. This is our afternoon session, and I'm Meredith McGee, Jackson, Mississippi.
I am Vicki Jenkins, Jackson, Mississippi.
I am Dr. Janice Neal Vincent, Madison, Mississippi.
Okay. So, which one do y'all want to go first?
Well,
I thought I heard her say she was going.
Oh, you want to go first, Vicki? Go ahead.
well, we're going to finish World War II, so we'll be through with World War II.
Okay, you do. Okay, World War II. Okay.
Yeah. All right. A total of 4,000 Black units participated in the war. Many of the units and their members involved in extensive and complete outstanding records and compiled outstanding records. 500 Black servicemen were involved in the D-Day landing on Omaha Beach. 378 separate engineer battalion landed at Anzio, unloaded 1,940 tons of material per day for 7 days. 3 of its members received medals, Silver Star medals. The first Americans to recognize for bravery World War II was Dory Miller, who shot down 4 enemy planes with weapons he had not been trained to use. He was a mess steward in the Navy. For his first action was awarded the Navy highest decoration, the Navy Cross. The 99 Pursuit Squadron of the 1st Black Army Air Corps Flying Unit flew 1,600 combat missions for a total of 150,000 deaths during the World War II. It was the first squadron commanded by a Black officer, Colonel Benjamin O. Davis Jr. The first black to lose his life in a specific theater fighting the Japanese was the Private Robert Brooke, the son of a Kentucky sharecropper. 10,000 Black soldiers helped build a road from Burma to China and the Asian mainland during the war. 2,000 Black truck drivers moved vital supplies to Red Ball Highway, the frontline units, the noted Red Ball. The 76th 1st Tank Battalion, the first Black armored unit in Europe, saw action on Omaha Beach and organized Patton and accompanied Patton on his famous drive across Europe. They were involved in 391 separate engagements and inflicted 129,540 casualties. The 92nd Division, composed of entirely of Black units, received 12,096 decorations and citations, including 2 Distinguished Service Crosses, 16 Legion of Merit Awards, and 97 Silver Stars, 1,100 Purple Stars. The Battle of the Bulge during World War II proved to be a deciding factor in the wholesale integration of the Army. 500 Black soldiers serving the service units, untrained use of service of infantry tactics, volunteered to assist the infantry units in stopping Germans' breakthrough. There were no white replacements at that time. 2,500 of the Black soldiers that volunteered were integrated for the to first time into previously all white combat units in an effort to stop German breakthrough. 10 the Black volunteers received praises for their actions and performance under combat during the Battle of the Bulge. The 96th Ninth Artillery Battalion, in an all-Black unit, won Distinguished Unit Claim, crosses, citations for the performances during the famous battle. Both the U.S. Navy and the U.S. Marine Corps lifted their discrimination practice during World War II. The Marine Corps allowed Blacks to enter their service for the first time in 167 years. In 44, the military forces were peak strength, there were over 700,000 Black units in the U.S. Army, 165,000 in the Navy, and 17,000 in the Marine Corps. During the war, the Secretary of the Navy, Forrestal, ordered all Navy vessels to be integrated in 44. During the war, 2 anti-submarines were assigned all Black crew. The U.S. Mason, the PC-1264, and in 1944. Only 1 Black officer was assigned. The other officers were on both boats, white. During World War II, the first Black to be commissioned in the Navy Nurse Corps was Phyllis May Daly in 1945. During World War II, in an attempt partially remedied the causes of racial incidents that were occurring in the service and the War Department in 1944, forbid racial discrimination and recreation and transportation facilities in all Army posts. During World War II, serious riots occurred between Black and white soldiers in Fort Bragg, North Carolina, Camp Robinson, Camp Davis, Camp Lee, Virginia, and Fort Dix, New Jersey. During World War II, the first group of Black line officers of the U.S. Navy commissioned. By 1945, 58 Blacks had been commissioned in the U.S. Navy. During World War II, the first Black regular Army regiment with all Black officers commanding was formed in 1941, designated in the 366th Infantry Regiment. During the war, the first Black military police battalion, the 730th, see, I can't even say it, the 73rd Military Police Battalion was formed in 1942. The effects of World War II on the Black soldiers. Blacks gained opportunities to learn technical skills in war industries in the field in the federal service. Prior to World War II, only 8.5% were employed in government, whereas after the war, figures rose to 17%. The returning Black veterans, together with growing urban-based centers, were no longer content to retreat to the menial and second-class rules they had previously held. The population granted from the South to the North and West in search of new jobs and better living conditions created urban ghettos from which sprung and aspiration. The Black veterans aided in making civil rights a national issue, which was very vital in the political parties in the election of 1948. And 48, President Truman signed the Executive Order 9981, which forbade segregation of any type within the armed forces of the United States. This order was also created the Committee of Equality of Treatment Opportunity in the Armed Forces. The Congress Racial Equality was formed 1942. Many Black veterans adopted this organization goal of equality through nonviolent means. During the period following World War II, Blacks were invited to join peacetime army for the first time in U.S. history. The first Black officer to be commissioned as lieutenant of the U.S. Marine Corps was John E. Reuter in 1948. He received his commission through Purdue University, Naval Reserve Corps, Officer Training Corps. The first Black officer to be assigned to the U.S. Navy as a pilot was Ensign Jesse Brown in 1948. He was later killed in action during the Korean War. Black leaders, impressed by the President Truman and the bipartisan mandate to end segregation in the military service in 1948. The first Black Black in history graduated from the U.S. Naval Academy was Wesley A. Brown, 1941, 1949. World War II.
Okay. And that was something I really learned was that the Black soldiers started joining the Congress of Racial Equality. And I
Yes,
didn't realize that was uh, um, that organization grew out of World War II.
yes. And there were a
Yeah.
couple of presidents who signed executive orders to ban
Truman,
discrimination. Huh?
Truman did.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Because my mother's oldest brother got in the Army Corps, then it was changed, the name was changed in
Oh, okay.
1940. And I think by then Truman had already signed the order segregate.
Yeah. And I like the 92nd Division, they're composed of entirely Black units, received 12,096 decorations and citations, included 2 Distinguished Service Crosses, 16 Legions of Merit Awards, 95 Silver Stars, and nearly 1,100 Purple Hearts. I think that sounded good.
Yeah. You going now, Janice?
Yes,
And Janice wrote something in the chat for you, Victor.
Huh?
Read the chat. Janice got a note in the chat for you.
Oh, okay. Well,
I
can't
was
pull
just,
that up right now. I have to check on that. I can't pull that up right now, but I'll check on it. Thank you at first for it before I see it.
well, I won't elaborate. I'll just let you read it. Okay. We are continuing here with Simple Wisdom for Rich Living by Osceola McCarty. This chapter focuses on saving money. Many people have wondered how Miss McCarty could have saved as much money as she did taking in laundry. There has been some speculation that she must have resorted to welfare or tax fraud. This unfortunate conclusion is a result of ignorance. Ignorance about the time value of money and the character of Osceola McCarty. Even as her banker, I did not understand the depth of Miss McCarty's conviction about saving until I escorted her to an out-of-town event. As we walked through the hotel lobby, she stopped dead in her tracks. When I asked her what was wrong, she pointed at a nearby fountain, the bottom of which was lined with coins. I explained that some people traditionally toss coins into fountains for good luck. She stood silent for a moment, wagging her head in utter disbelief. To Osceola McCarty, there is no such thing as an insignificant amount of money. Miss McCarty did not save a large amount over a short period of time. Instead, she set aside a little bit regularly over a long period of time. She found ways to save a few dollars here and there. And rather than spending them, she had the discipline to put them to work for her in savings accounts. It is amazing what compounding interest can do over a period of almost 80 years. That was her banker talking, Paul Laughlin, Trustmark Bank. I started saving when I was a little girl just to have candy money. When I got grown, I started saving for my future. I'd go to the bank once a month, hold out just enough to cover my expenses, and put the rest into my savings account. Every month, I'd save the same and put it away. I was consistent. The secret to building a fortune is compounding interest. It's not the ones that make the big money, but the ones who know how to save who get ahead. You've got to leave your investment alone long enough for it to increase. I did have some advantages to saving money. My house was given to me by my uncle, and the people I worked for gave me clothes. I had to pay only for groceries and the other little things I needed. But I think my secret was contentment. I was happy with what I had. I haven't always had enough money. There were times when we had to do without, but we never went hungry. The white people we worked for gave us leftover food. We would make a meal out of that meat and syrup and the vegetables we had put up. I learned that there is always a way to live. I have led a simple life, but I let myself enjoy a few things. I have always bought the food I wanted, and I buy pretty things if they are useful. To tell the truth, I never could pass up a bunch of flowers. Sweet little things can brighten a house and life. I don't like to waste. I keep everything, clothes, furniture, housewares, until it wears out. Usefulness often outlasts style. I don't buy clothes very often, but when I do, I try to find something on sale. I'll spend a little more for something of higher quality if I have the money to spare. When I want to make an improvement to my house, laying new flooring or painting a room, I save up my money for a long time getting ready. Then, if it works that I can do, I do it myself. I visited a casino once and could not believe what I saw. People were lined up to put their change in those machines. I can tell you, gambling is like walking down to the river and throwing your money in the water. I don't want any part of that. I think a Christmas savings account is a good idea. Every year I save and prepare to spend that money. It's crazy the way some people will get into debt at that time of year. Credit cards are okay for some people, but I wouldn't go for one. I try not to spend money that I don't have buying what I can't afford. My black and white television set gets only one channel. I don't care because I don't watch it often. I have never subscribed to a newspaper because it costs too much. There is a difference between needing and wanting. I don't need those things in my life. Other people may, but I don't. A smart person plans for the future. You never know what kind of emergency will come up, and you can't rely on the government to meet all of your needs. You have to take responsibility for yourself. Here is a picture of Osceola McCarthy's parents.
Okay.
She tells the story that her mother's name was Lucy McCarthy Zimmerman. The father, Willie Zimmerman, died when she was a young child. And I think I searched that and I did some subtracting there. I think it came to she was about 18 when her father passed. So she probably was thinking about longevity when she made that statement about when she was a child. And then at 18, way back there, she probably only knew about the laundry business and her relatives in terms of the way the conditions were during those times, the closeness of the family, the few members of her family that she did have. So that's her chapter on saving money.
Okay. And I did some research too, and I went to the University of Southern Mississippi website, looked up her scholarship,
Yes.
and what apparently they have changed it, and now it's $2,000 per person who has to
Right,
maintain
2,000.
a 3.0 average. Hello.
Hey,
Hello. Hello.
I'm
Hello.
good.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
I'm sorry, I'm late. I was in the kitchen, so I forgot about the time.
Oh, that's okay.
All right,
Thanks. All right. Thanks for joining.
all right. Let me call
Okay.
Harry.
Okay. Yeah. So and it gave some more information about her as well and her endowment. Um, it was very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's amazing.
And it's good to know that it's continuing, that
Right.
it's continuing and people are building upon it. So many donors.
And she wouldn't even,
Mhm.
she didn't even subscribe to the newspaper. She was extremely modest. Yeah, she
Yeah,
said
to her that
money.
makes sense at all.
It was over $500,000, I think, about a year. You know,
And
after
she
it's
didn't even know the difference.
one of your
She,
readers, I think it said it was over $250,000 that she saved, and then her banker invested some of it.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That was
So
very good.
it appears to me that she was well respected there in that community, beginning with the banking situation, because it looks like they took care of her and watching her with her accounts and what she wanted to do in the effort to save. So it looks like they really did work good with her. And I like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Harry, we can't see you.
Hey, Harry.
one of the founders of the Delta Sigma Theta sorority was someone, Osceola McCarthy Adams.
Oh,
There
yeah.
was someone what?
Osceola, one of the founders, Osceola McCarthy Adams. I'm just saying that was one of the founders' names, was Osceola
Oh,
McCarthy
okay.
Adams.
Oh, I
Oh,
see
the
what you're
same
saying.
person.
Yeah.
Same person.
I know it could not have been her, but one of them was named Osceola McCarthy Adams.
That's very good. Yes.
Well,
Small world.
It is a small world.
Harry is only one reader before you, and I'm gonna read a couple of paragraphs, and then I'm gonna let you read and take us out. And I'm gonna read a couple of paragraphs from Have No Fear. And I know Vicky and Janice, y'all know my mother. Mama, this is Harry. He's reading. He's 6 years old, and he
Hey,
he read over 30 books.
Good to see you.
Hey there, Hazel. Hey there. I see you come join us for school today, huh?
That's wonderful.
Okay, I'm in chapter 11, and it says, I trusted to God and my 45 pistol. This is chapter 11. I first heard of Robert Kennedy in 1960 when his brother John Kennedy was a Democrat running for president. I was begging Republican Richard Nixon. So were most Negroes. Nixon was a tough young man who'd spoken out against racism for years. He'd been to Africa and met Martin Luther King in Ghana. Negroes thought he carried a much heavier load on civil rights than President Eisenhower had. Democrats look worse. Lyndon Johnson, the vice president nominee, was a conservative Democrat from Texas. He helped pass the Civil Rights Bill of 1957, but Johnson didn't have his heart in civil rights. No one in our movement knew Johnson well. John Kennedy was just a rich young Irishman from Massachusetts. Herbert Humphrey was a civil rights Democrat. Kennedy had whooped Herbert pretty good in primary, so Negroes were rushing to support John Kennedy for president. Now that's a very interesting perspective, which I'm not sure if I ever read that perspective from people with civil rights, but I don't know. I'd like to see what Vivian or John Lewis or Martin Luther King or some of those other people, which politician they supported in 1960. I mean, I just picked up the book and just read something, but that's all I'm gonna read today. Any comments or thoughts y'all about that?
No, ma'am.
The history.
Well, I know that Charles Evans was outspoken, and I came across his book. It must have been around 1973 when I was working on my master's at Eastern Illinois University. I was browsing the library shelves. At that time, we really had to browse the shelves, didn't have the machines to just go plug something in and get it. But his book was on capitalism. And since all of that time, of course, I've listened to him talk on WMPR. I've even performed with Daughters of Margaret on that, when the WMPR was there housed near Tougaloo, campus there. And then been back on the WMPR and talked to different ones there, Women for Progress and what have you. And I guess I should not have been surprised, but I was surprised when he spoke out. I know that he would always say different things that would, to me, be kind of not with it in terms of my value system and where we are within the culture within the American culture. But he said that he was going to endorse Donald Trump. And then he gave this profound reason as to why he was endorsing Donald Trump and so on. So the first thing I thought about was his book on capitalism, because I couldn't see anything else from my value system why I would vote for somebody who was talking like in the reckless speech, contrary to everything that I have taught about communication. But he said he was voting for Donald Trump. And then several different sessions thereafter, he was still on voting for Donald Trump. So I guess he went out like that. But I remember too, there seemed to have been a rift or something between him and Merle over time. It seems to be something there. But I always admired her dignity, and I still do to this day, how she would come out and talk about Medgar and going down there to the fairgrounds and what was going on back there during the 60s and so forth. But I just saw Charles in a different fashion. It was like he was in a world all by himself. I might be the only one who think like that, but that's how I saw Charles. And I remember when he brought Judge Mathis to the Masonic Temple. It might have been about a decade or so ago now. And Judge Mathis did a very good job as a speaker. I think it was Charles Evans' birthday celebration that weekend or something, but I did speak with him as the journalist who was reporting that. And I wanted to know why he had thought to bring Judge Mathis. And so he just gave a quick statement there, just like he would be talking anyway about anything and then going on to some other point. But I was trying to see the connection in terms of his birthday celebration and our culture. But he never did really answer what I was driving at. So that's what I know about Charles Evans, which is really probably not much.
Yeah, I was, that paragraph was talking about Nixon versus John F. Kennedy, 1960. Was right. for my time, but I'm just saying, I know that at many years ago, there were a lot of like Republicans up until I thought what I read up until Roosevelt, and World War II they started shifting to Democratic. Like John R. Lynch was a Republican, and I think he's the last vote 1970 or something like that. Probably even Frederick Douglass, but he was probably at the turn of the century. But so I just was I never knew what they felt about Nixon compared to John F. Kennedy. He described John F. Kennedy as just a rich guy from Massachusetts. So I was just interested in what I had just read. But anyway, I'll let Harry go next, and then you can take us away, Harry. What you got?
A toy box.
Reading the toy box?
Yes, ma'am.
One bear, two blocks. It's a very short story. One bear, two blocks. One rabbit, two rocks. One clown, two clocks, two socks. The end.
That's it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well,
Only
thank you
14
so
words.
much. All right. Well, thank you so much. And you go ahead and close us out, Harry.
Thank you for attending this Zoom. I hope you can attend the next one, the next Zoom tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Thank you for attending this Zoom.
Thank you. All right. Well, you all have a good evening. See you in the morning. Tomorrow is awards day. All right. See you guys.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.